Hi viewer, welcome to the second part of reactjs interview question. So let's get started. First we will discuss the basic question and then we'll proceed towards the complex ones. So watch the video till the end because the complex and important questions are discussed at the end of the video. So let's get started. What is the purpose of using keys in reactjs? So look, keys are used to uniquely identify elements in an array, which helps React to keep track of which element has changed. Question number 17. What is the purpose of using redux in reactjs? So look, redux is used to manage the state of an application in a predictable way. As you people know, there are many ways to handle state, like simple and like to use context, but the redux is a predictable way. Question number 18. The first 15 questions are discussed in the first lecture, mean first part. So what is the purpose of using React Router in reactjs? So look, React Router is used to navigate between different components in a React application. The first questions I'm going to discuss look simple, but it's necessary and interview ask those questions. So question number 19, what are the different methods of communication in reactjs? So being a React developer, you should know all these communication methods. Like we have the different methods of communication in reactjs include props, context, callback, and custom hooks. You can dive into in detail by watching a separate video on props, context, callback, and custom hook. Some of the questions are discussed later in the video. So question number 20, what is the purpose of using the pure component in reactjs? So look, pure component is used to optimize the performance of a component by preventing unnecessary re-rendering. What is mean by unnecessary re-rendering? So you can dive in a detailed video to grab the concept of pure component. But simply we can say that pure component is a component which we use for our purpose, and there is no connection of state. Mean there is a pure component as a type of a function, as a type of, we can say, stateless component, a component which has no state. So question number 21, what is the purpose of using the memo function in reactjs? So the memo function is used to wrap a component and cache the values of the props, which helps optimize the component's performance. Any of the question you have problem or you want to do in detail, you can watch a separate video on these topics because that's a complete topic, we can say. What is the purpose of using the useEffect hook in reactjs? So maybe you are familiar with this, but most interview ask these questions. The useEffect hook is used to perform side effect in a component, such as data fetching or updating the state of a component. So side effects mean that if we call some external things, like we can call APIs, which is a third party, we can say. So for this purpose, we use use effect. Mean we use these things inside use effect. Commonly, we do it for fetching data, that is from API, and updating our state inside our component. Question number 23. What is the purpose of using the useContext hook in reactjs? So look, the useContext hook is used to access the context from a component, which allows component to access data from other component in a tree. So maybe you are familiar with the concept of useContext, that we use alternative to the redux and other state management techniques. What is the purpose of using useReducer hook in reactjs? So look, maybe you know useReducer hook is used to manage the state of a component in a predictable way, similar to the way redux works. So redux actually handle the overall application, we can say, states, but useReducer will control the specific component, the specific files states in a predictable way. Like we can simple say in a words that it's maintained redux for a single file. What is the purpose of using useMemo hook in reactjs? So look, the useMemo hook is used to memoize the value, which helps optimize a component's performance by preventing unnecessary re-render. But here is a question that what is mean by memoize values? So look, memoize value in React is a technique used to cache the output of a function or a component so that it does not need to be to be recomputed. If the value to the function or a component does not change, this can be used to improve the performance of React application by avoiding unnecessary re-renders and computation. So hope you got this. Question number 26. What is the purpose of using useCallback hook in React.js? So look, useCallback hook is used to create memoized callback which help optimize a component performance by preventing unnecessary re-renders. So these are the terms for which you can delve in detail by watching a separate video like use callback and memoize etc. These concepts should need to be memorized for you people being a React developer because it's some important question interviewer are commonly asked. What is the purpose of using the useRef hook in React.js? So look, useRef hook is used to access the DOM element or React element created in the render method. So look, whenever we want to access the DOM element, like we do in the general, in the simple JavaScript by get element by ID like that, by ID and class. So here you will do these things mean to access the DOM element, you will use ref in React.js. What is the purpose of using useImperativeHandle hook in React.js? This is another important concept you can delve in detail by watching a separate video on the topic useImperativeHandle hook. Look, the useImperativeHandle hook is used to expose a custom API to parent components, which can be used to manipulate child components. So question number 29, what is the purpose of using useLayoutEffect hook in React.js? This is another hook. For diving in detail, you can watch a separate video as well on this topic. It's important, but let's look at the definition of the useLayoutEffect hook. The useLayoutEffect hook is used to perform side effects that need to happen after the DOM has been updated, such as setting the size of an element. May you get an overview of this useLayoutEffect, but to know in detail, you should watch a separate video on this. The last question of the day, that what is the purpose of using useDebugValue, which also a hook? So look, the useDebugValue hook is used to display a custom label in the React Dev tool. You know React Dev tool is used for what? We use to find the proper structure of our React application, mean to find the error, to find that where we are missing something. So for that purpose, we use dev tool. So for that dev tool, we use debug value, which can be used to debug the component. The main point is that to debug our React component. So it make the thing easier to us to find, to debug the component values. So this is the end of lecture. We'll meet in the next lecture. Till that, Allah Hafiz.